Hi, Sid. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, thanks, in yourself. And it's great to be catching up with you, especially on
Yeah.
something different today. Today will be probably our first long form chat. So, are you
Oh,
looking forward to
yeah.
that?
Me too. It's been a while. Good to have a catch up.
Yeah, likewise. So, to start the ball rolling, it'll be behind the scenes of a vocal trainer. So, can you kindly tell me about what's something funny or unexpected that happens when you're training someone?
Oh, well, there's lots of funnies and lots of unexpected. But one of the things, like one of my favorites is where, it's a very common thing. You are working with songs and music and you forget your lyrics. You might be
Mm,
singing, singing, singing the song, and then you just
mm,
like, huh? Mine goes blank. So
mm,
I think it is so funny. Like most of my lessons now, they're online, right? So I'm like
mm,
this, like speaking to
mm,
the student over like a video call. And the student will usually like your natural inclination, you feel embarrassed because you forget your lyrics or whatever. I just use it as an icebreaker, like
mm,
just burst out laughing and make a joke out of it. So I
mm,
love to use those. They're always funny because even, I mean, we all get our song lyrics wrong from time to time, me as well.
mm.
So we just laugh it off. I love those, and then we continue with the lesson. Always fun.
Okay, can you share some memorable moments from your vocal training sessions?
Memorable moments. Oh, there's so many. When you say memorable, give me more context. What are
Yeah,
you
like
referring to?
yeah, like funny bloopers, breakthroughs, etc.
Okay, well, like I said, okay, there's lots of fun things with students messing up. A breakthrough, I can give you
Hmm.
an example, was I will never
Okay.
forget this. There was a student of mine, and she just could not find what we call head voice, right? So when you're singing from here, it's more your chest
Hmm.
voice, so it's the
Hmm.
deeper kind of tones. And then when you're singing from head voice, it's like, as compared to like, if you know the difference,
Ah.
right? She could just not find her head voice. And she's convinced, like during the lesson, she's like, no, no, I don't have a head voice. And I'm like, no, everyone has got a head voice. So
Hmm.
we kept on pushing and pushing. I kept pushing to while she was singing, so that it was almost like I didn't give her a choice. I made her just go over and over. And as she's singing, just like that breakthrough, she went into her head voice and she was so shocked. She's like, wow, I do have a head voice. And I'm like, yes, you do. Everyone does. It's just about accessing that. So, I mean, that was a lovely one as a breakthrough, while in real time, the student discovers her head voice.
What's the most unusual vocal exercise you teach and why it works?
Okay, when we're talking about unusual, when it comes to vocal training exercises, let me tell you, there's some crazy ones. There's ones where you like have to grunt like a gorilla. There's some
Wow.
really there's funny sounds that you have to make because we're exercising and using all these different parts of the
Hmm.
vocals, the vocal cords, and the muscles around there, and all of that. But I'd say, one that makes the most difference is, it might not sound so fancy, but it's actually getting students to kind of relax. So I'll give
Hmm.
you an example here, right? I had a student and she like many, I'm just using her as an example. You sing very forcefully and you're not
Oh.
even realizing. And so not only with your singing, even sometimes with your speaking, I'm guilty of this myself. Sometimes I can sound so aggressive, but it's because you're passionate and you're talking and you don't realize. So
Oh.
she was singing the song, what was it? It was Beyonce Halo.
Mhm.
So she was singing like, look at these walls of I can see you now.
Wow.
So okay, let's try relaxing. So that is what my number one. I'd say you can call it a vocal exercise, but it's getting the student to relax because it makes such a difference to the voice when they sing. So I got her to calm down, and I'm like, try just relaxing. We here, we
Hmm.
chilled. Like, try just relaxing and singing, and then she's like, look at those walls are built. So much of a difference, much better. I
Hmm.
can see your halo, halo. Doesn't that sound just so much better? I mean, you get to a point, yes, in a song where, towards the climax, yes, you got to put in more emphasis and you sing strong and whatever. But especially when you're starting out a song, you want it to sound really soft, really relaxed. And you want people, when people are listening to your voice, you want them to also get that vibe, you know, kind of be relaxed, and they must like just enjoy the sound of your voice. So if you're going to be shouting at people when you're singing, they're going to be like, oh, okay, whoa, you know. So I would say that one, just getting students to relax, I found the most difference, because it's so quick, you know, just getting them to chill out a bit, hear the difference in their voice when they're singing instantly.
Okay, let's get to our next topic of discussion, the YouTube insights, the YouTube journey insights. Yeah. So how will the YouTube journey shape you as a vocal coach?
Shape me, I would say, okay, definitely confidence. Like, I mean, you need to have confidence if you're going to be a vocal coach already. But then doing the whole YouTube thing, you have to have confidence on another level. And it shapes that in you, because now you're talking in front of a camera. I mean, at first you feel so silly when you're first doing it, because it's like you're talking to a camera. You like, you know, there's nobody around, but you're speaking like you're talking to so many people and stuff like that. So you've got to really up your game, your confidence game. So I'd say that. And trolls. I don't know how much you've had to deal with this, but trolls. I get people all the time, and I just have to remove those comments. You get people saying funny things, like, because I'm Indian, so you'll get people like making some Indian-y kind of comments. Okay, those are funny. I'll leave those, right? So they'll be like, okay, auntie. So,
you're kidding.
Like that, so I leave those. But the trolls, the bad ones I'm talking about, like those I actually report them to YouTube, are these people. They, especially from India and Pakistan, and they will message me all the time, and they'll tell me how bad my channel is doing, how I don't get enough views, how terrible my thumbnails look. And I work hard on all of that in my thumbnails. So they tell me how bad my channel is, how bad my video editing is. And hey, they offered the service where they can do all of that stuff for me, and I must just pay them like 1,000 Rand a video, you know, to do the editing for me. And then also it's with the tags, you know, the SEO and all of that stuff that goes into with YouTube. And these people are obviously, you know, it's their business, so they're trying to make money. I get it. That's why they're doing it. But it's just, it actually becomes like trolling, because there's so many of them. They comment on my YouTube videos. Then they will find me on Instagram. They'll message me on Instagram. They get all my details. They will find my WhatsApp number. They will message me. It's all the same. I can see the same people over and over once they get me. WhatsApp. Then they will email. Then they will even go on Facebook Messenger. It's like all around. They just won't stop. So I have to just go block, report. And I think it makes you develop a tough skin. Like, at first it really upset me. Like, you know, they're saying all these bad things about my channel. And now I'm like, oh, whatever, to hell with all of that. Because you know what? What is the reason I'm doing YouTube? What is the reason? It's not only about views and having a channel and videos that are viral, blowing up and whatever. It's because I love what I do. And even if it's that handful of people that are enjoying what I teach, they're loving what I do, it's making a difference, it's actually helping them. That's all that matters to me. I know that I'm helping people, and that gives me fulfillment. So it doesn't matter if I don't have a bazillion subscribers and all of that. To me, it's really more about enjoying what I do and giving back. So yeah, trolls. What about you? Have you had any trolls? Any nasty comments left on your videos?
I haven't had any trolls, but sometimes you get these weird comments that just don't make sense, but I just end up deleting them. But luckily I haven't had so many of them. I guess I probably am not in your space, so maybe that's why you're getting more attention, because normally singers are more in demand, I guess, in that sort of department. Mine is more sports orientated or political, so I guess people probably don't get that much excitement of trolling me.
Oh well, lucky for you.
Yeah, but you never know. I mean, they're always the first time.
Yeah, and especially if you're going to be talking about any controversial topics, that's when, you know, you might get people like...
Of course, that's true. That is true. I don't think I've done anything controversial. I guess because I'm kind of afraid of maybe being tagged on YouTube or something. Maybe I'm a bit like on the safe side, but I don't mind a little
Yeah.
controversy as long as it's balanced,
Yeah. And I think now
Yeah.
YouTube has also gotten a lot more strict. Like I know people that do
Mm, mm.
tarot, the tarot cards, sometimes it has like a bit of nudity and stuff on the cards. They
Oh,
actually they get like they got a sense of that because YouTube
yeah, that
will
makes
control
sense. Yeah.
their whole video and stuff because of those strict laws. So on the one side it's a good thing, but then it can also be sometimes a bit too much. I think people just need to be aware of that.
Yeah. Okay. At the risk of, I hope this question doesn't sound like I've repeated the first, but what's the most surprising thing you've learned about yourself while recording videos?
Well, not to toot my own horn, but I would say, well, while recording videos, I would say my skill set, I've really
Hmm.
had to develop that. And I
Of
didn't
course.
know that I'm going to have to be learning all kinds of video editing and different programs and then the YouTube platform and all of that. So I'd say that's something surprising that I've learned. And then my endurance as well, because I've been doing YouTube for a while now. And
Mm,
you really got to hang in there, hey, with
mm,
like in the beginning I was posting like trying to keep up to videos once a week and stuff, and it's a lot. Like now my
mm.
schedule has slowed down a bit, but
Oh.
you really have to like build an endurance muscle if you don't want to get burnt out. So that's something I've had
Mm.
to learn. And what about you as well? Something you've learned being on YouTube?
Well, what I've learned on YouTube is like, I guess to try and adapt myself because normally
Yeah,
whenever I've done chats with live with people such as yourself, I'm normally so used to doing a template. So I've kind of learned to also
yeah,
adapt to people's wishes and also not just wishes, but also learned to be a bit more adaptable. Normally I would be a bit
yeah.
rigid in terms of setting to question, but now, but I've always been aiming to please as well. So if someone wants me to add in questions for them to be asked, I don't mind doing that because if they're happy, I'm happy. It just works. It just flows. I guess it's kind of made me a bit more adaptable, I guess.
Nice, nice. It's a lot of
Yeah.
growth on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah. Although, I mean, I do have a few grudges on them in the sense that before YouTube didn't have all these requirements whereby you need to get 1,000 subscribers, you need a number of hours. They didn't used to have that, so I would hope they change that. But I'm so far halfway there with the subscribers, but I needed to get to the 1,000, and then hopefully the others take care of itself.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
Well,
your goal as well. Sorry.
I highly doubt they will change that anytime soon because, they say that it keeps people like they want people that are really serious on the platform to be benefiting from it. So that shows that you worked that much, that you're able to have that many watch hours. I think now it's 3,000 or something, and the 1,000 subscribers or whatever. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Do you have a favorite or least favorite video you've made and why?
Um, Least favorite, I would say, is this one where I shared a bit. So it's quite early. If you look in like my YouTube library, it's like one of the earlier ones. I think like I overshared. Like I shared a bit too much about my singing journey and some stuff
Oh.
that was like personal, like being bullied and all of that kind of thing, and just people like dampening your dreams kind of thing.
Hmm.
So I would say that one would be my least favorite. But you know what? At the same time, I didn't delete it. If you go on now, you'll see that video is still there. And I think the reason I felt I needed to just leave that there and put that out there is to be transparent,
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
not worry. We can't deny it. We all worry about people's opinions, right?
Hmm.
This was like me saying, hey, I'm going to put this out there. And yes, you're going to have an opinion, and that's okay. I'm
Hmm.
putting that out there for me and let people have their opinions. So, but at the same time, it took a lot of courage. That wasn't an easy one.
Hmm.
But yeah, I put it out there. It's just not my favorite video. And my most favorite, actually, funny enough, is the very first one that I did because I look back on it. And people are like all cringe when you look at your first YouTube videos.
Hmm.
And I look back at that and I thought, hey, you know what? I actually did pretty good. I was well spoken. I was
Mhm.
really well dressed. My hair and makeup looked great. And I looked so professional. I looked really
Mhm.
sweet. The way I was teaching people and so sincere. I thought, you know what? That is not cringe to me. That is
Hmm.
actually really sweet and really, I think it was done really well for a person's first video. So I'd say that one is my favorite. Yeah.
Okay, let's get to the fun challenges and vocal games. Tell me about some of the vocal games or challenges you like to give your students that are both fun and skill building.
Vocal challenges.
Hmm.
Okay, well, if you're going to look at skill building, because look, there's so many different ones that we do. There's this one where you start off like standing in front of me, right? And I'll make you sing out whatever scale or a song, whatever. And then you're going to start walking to the back of the room, and you've got to keep that same volume for what I am hearing. So that means as you're walking towards the back of the room, you're going to have to start singing louder, but not too loud because it's got to sound the same to me. And then you get to the back, and then you've got to start now walking forward. So now you're going to be decreasing your volume so that it's at the same volume that you started with when you were standing in front of me. So that one I found is very challenging for students trying to just get that volume 100%. And in that, you're building your skill. So I like that
Okay.
one.
Okay, can you share tips on how people can incorporate singing into their daily routine in fun ways? Like, for example, like singing in the shower or vocal warm-ups during commutes.
Well, that's the thing. I think it's nice to incorporate it in your daily activity. So maybe you do a lot of cooking, maybe you do a lot of cleaning, maybe you like that quiet time when you're gardening or whatever. During those regular activities, I think it's nice to incorporate it because most people don't have the time to just carve out, okay, I'm going to take an hour every day and I'm going to work on my vocals. Most people don't have that. And they're not doing vocals like singing professionally, so you don't need to do that for your work kind of thing. So it's nice to incorporate it in your daily activities. And I encourage students, don't only do it when you're alone. Yes, it's nice, when you're alone. You don't have to worry about anyone listening. But like this student of mine, she told me she wants to practice, but she lives at home with her parents. And what are they going to think of her when they hear her in her room singing, And I told her, just think about it. Do you think your parents are going to be upset? Because I think if your parents have to hear their kid in their room singing, they are just going to smile. Don't you think? So that's why I encourage students, just go for it. Yes, people are going to hear you, and people maybe they might giggle or they might make fun of you, or they might be like, wow, okay, you're serious. You're doing your vocal exercises like while you're driving. Okay. Like if you're in a lift club or whatever. So I think people actually have more respect. And I've heard some students also tell me that, they actually ended up, people like in their commute, in their car, actually ended up learning from them. So you can't be too
Okay.
worried about opinions,
That's true. So let's get to the music and pop culture. Tell me about your favorite current artists or vocal performances and why they inspire you.
Current ones, I would say nobody really, but you know what? I did see some good performances. If you watched the 2024 VMA, and I shared a bit of it on my channel as well. There was some stunning performances. I mean, if you saw Katy Perry, it was amazing. The performance she did. Eminem, I mean, drove the crowd insane. And then a nice one there was also, if you've heard, you must have heard of Tyla, the South African chick, colored girl with a colored accent and everything. She has been like all over the show. She's been at the Victoria's Secret Fashion Awards, and she's
Wow.
gotten what is it? Not an Oscar, is it a Grammy or whatever? They win at all the different awards. I mean, she's like a local girl, 21, from Cape Town. And so I
Wow.
think something like that is very inspiring, especially for people that want to, go that route of like a professional singer kind of thing. That is nice to see, like someone homegrown from your country, that it's possible for them to do that well. So yeah, those have been inspiring, but I wouldn't say anyone currently, nobody else really specifically for me, but I've been enjoying the good performances.
If you could create a vocal training session for a famous celeb, past or present, who would it be and what would you teach them?
Oh, well, I'm a huge Britney Spears fan. I'd have
Oh,
to just
okay.
see Brittany because firstly it would be because I really want to meet her. I'd love to meet Brittany, but also because like if you hear her type of voice, she's gotten so much of flack with like people telling
Mm,
us that she really can't sing and that. And it doesn't necessarily make someone's voice like that better than, for example,
mm,
someone like Whitney Houston. You're comparing apples and oranges. Everyone's
mm,
got different voices. You can't really say one is better than the other. There's different
mm,
strokes for different folks. Some people would
mm,
love this kind of voice, and some people would like, someone
mm,
else's kind of voice. But with Britney specifically, it's something where, like, if you listen to her voice, she has had vocal training. And those are
mm,
skills. Like people think, if you can't sing, you can't sing. That's not true.
mm,
It's a skill that you learn and develop. So with
mm,
her voice, you can hear she might not be naturally gifted with the vocals like Whitney Houston, for example, Mariah Carey,
mm,
like people that can sing to that octave. But she's really skilled with how she's able to sing out her notes, manipulate her vocal cords, if you would, So you can tell when someone has actually had training. And so she's someone I'd love to work with. If I had to do a lesson for her, how cool would that be?
yeah, I'd love to see that.
Yeah. And you know what? I have to ask you, since you do interviews. So if you could interview anyone, dead, alive, past, present, who would you love to sit and have a chat with?
There's so many of them because I like to interview people of different fields, whether they be in the political space or whether they be in the acting space, whether it be local or international. But now that I think of one, Bill Gates comes to mind. Oh, are you referring to a singer or are you just referring to anyone in general?
Anyone.
I would say Bill
Gandhi,
Gates.
anyone.
I would say
Okay.
Bill Gates because I admired him growing up because he's not just a billionaire, but he does a lot of charity work. So that's something that I
Yeah.
appreciate.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so, yeah, but then he has been a bit controversial of late, Bill Gates. I mean, many people go after him. They feel that he was kind of, and I don't want to put myself in trouble when I say this, but I think they say that he's in a way, they say that because he had inside information about, I say inside, but they felt that he was so good in predicting these pandemics, they thought that maybe he might have had
Yeah.
an inside hand or something. But, I don't want to
Mhm.
get myself into trouble if I say anything more about that one.
I know. I've seen lots of those clips as well. Very, very controversial.
Yeah. Okay. I think, okay, let's go to the vocal coach life hacks here. Tell me about some vocal care secrets or unexpected tips for maintaining a healthy voice.
Um, Unexpected ones. Not whispering. Like everyone knows, okay, you're not supposed to shout and scream
Okay.
because that's bad for
Hmm.
your vocals. It
Hmm.
basically like slaps them together like
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
But people don't realize that even whispering, if you have to whisper for a long time and you feel what your throat feels like, it's actually really bad for you. So that's an unexpected one. And I always tell students not to. Where you can, don't whisper. You don't need to whisper. It's not helping your voice by whispering.
Oh, you meaning like, are you, oh, okay. I thought, are you meaning like whispering in a different sense? Because, people do whisper if they don't want to get heard because they want to say something to not let the other
But
party know.
if you're whispering for just like a quick, you need to tell someone something and you whisper it
Okay.
quickly, that's fine. But I mean, for
Okay.
like an extended period of time,
Oh,
whispering is
okay.
actually is not good for your vocals, and people don't realize that.
Okay. What's a common misconception about vocal training that you'd like to debunk?
Oh, well, number one is that you have to be rich to
Mm-hmm.
go for vocal training. There's so many
Mm,
excellent vocal trainers that are really reasonably priced. You don't need to go to someone that's, like a working with professionals or celebrities or whatever. You can find a good local coach. It doesn't need to be expensive. And I think
mm-hmm.
it's a really nice investment in yourself because people don't
Mm,
realize with going for vocals how it helps you not just with your voice, with your singing, it helps with your confidence, it helps you in job interviews, it helps you in so many areas of your life
mm,
because you learn about posture, you learn about standing tall, you learn about your presence, you learn about so much more in vocal training than people realize. So it doesn't get the value and the credit. People don't really realize everything that you get out of it. So it's something I always suggest to people to go for, even if you just go for a few sessions. It's something that you did in your life, and it doesn't need to necessarily be so expensive. that, you break the bank or whatever. Oh, and another one is that people,
Mm-hmm.
like, you have to be a good singer. If you're going to go for
Mm-hmm.
vocal training, it's because you can sing and maybe you want to get a
Mm.
bit better. And that also is not true. You don't need to be a good singer. Most people think because, okay, they can't sing well. So vocal training is for everyone. And in fact,
Mm.
if you're not a good singer, there's actually more reason for you to go. Because remember, it's a skill. It's a skill that anyone can learn how to do.
But you would need to have passion though to go to a vocal trainer, because if you don't have passion, imagine you're only wasting your time and the vocal trainer's time, if you know what I mean.
It depends. I mean, yes, you could go in there with passion, but also at the same time, you could look at it as an investment in yourself, like something that you've always wanted to do. Maybe like you've always wanted to learn pottery and work with clay. Maybe you've
Mm-hmm.
always wanted to go for rollerblading lessons or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's something like that you just want to try for yourself, to invest in yourself.
Mm.
So it doesn't mean that now you're going to be going for pottery classes for the rest of your life.
Of
You
course,
can
of
go
course,
for,
yeah.
for 5 lessons, and enjoy it, and you get the
Mm.
benefit out of it that you will keep with you, those skills for the rest of your life. Exact same thing with vocals. You can just go for a few sessions or even go for like a workshop.
Mm-hmm.
And like I've been for plenty of workshops in my life. I learned drums and keyboard and so many different instruments, vocals. Oh, it was so much of fun. It was just so much of fun. And I will keep those skills with me forever. So I encourage everyone to just go for it. You don't have to be a good singer.
Okay. I'm sure this is
Oh, and
something that the
I thought of
sorry?
one more thing, by the way. When
Mm-hmm.
you asked about something that people should avoid, and I talked about the whispering.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing is vaping. Like, people don't understand, like, vaping has become like such a big craze now. People thinking that it's not unhealthy, like smoking and whatever.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
there's a lot of research coming out now that's showing that vaping, sorry for people that love vaping, it's actually really bad for you. And it's not good for like your lungs, throat, and this entire
Mm.
area you use
Mm.
when you are singing. So that's
Yeah.
another one I would tell people. If you think you're doing something healthier with vaping, you're not, because the
Mm.
vaping is also bad for you and will affect your singing.
Yeah, in fact, not to be judgmental, but it sounds kind of bonkers that you want to be getting to singing, but then you're smoking. It's like so bad for your lungs. It sounds
Oh
un.
yeah, well, I get so many students come in and they are smokers and stuff. It's because it's also an addiction, so it's
Okay.
difficult for people to kick the habit. But I try and work with them, or sometimes they
Mm.
may live in a home with people that smoke, so you're getting that secondary and third and smoke. I mean, with
Mm.
with regular cigarettes, it even gets into your curtains and stuff. I don't know if you know that the
Mm.
toxic chemicals from it get into the fabric. So, like in your sofas, in your curtains, in your bedding, and all of that. So, if you live in a home where people are smoking, unfortunately, you can't get away from that. You're also going to be exposed to the chemicals and stuff that way. So it's just nice to be aware of it, at least, and try and manage those things when you're working on your vocals.
Okay. All right. This is something which I think the audience would probably like to know about you. Well, what's the hardest songs to sing, or what's your go-to karaoke song?
Hardest songs to sing. Okay, so if this is your vocal range, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is only how much you can sing. So anything higher than that, so
Mm-hmm.
your really high notes, and anything lower than that, your really low notes, those are the songs with those kind of notes that are going to be difficult for you as an individual to sing. So maybe I have a bigger vocal range than you.
Mm.
That song might be easy for me because I've got a bigger vocal range, but for you, it might be really difficult. So, with
Mm.
that question, it depends on the person's vocal range. The smaller
Mm-hmm.
your vocal range, the more difficult songs you're going to have. More songs are going to be difficult for you, but it is so easy to stretch your vocal range. So, the more you can gradually stretch that, the easier it's going to be for you to sing more songs, and even the more difficult songs at the very high and the very low notes. Favorite karaoke song
Uh-huh.
has got to be hands down
Mm-hmm.
Rihanna, Where Have You Been All My Life? For
Okay.
some reason, that one's just been a crowd pleaser. Back in the day, I used to love going for karaoke like all the time. And I just found with some songs, like they have a bit more of a slow start. Like another one I used to love doing the Britney Spears I Love Rock and Roll. But if you
Mm-hmm.
hear, like, it's it's a song like you can jam to, but it's a very slow kind of start. And then with that Rihanna song, it's like dance music. If you hear the bass, like
Mhm.
I've been everywhere, man, looking for someone. It starts off like you like in there, and
Mm.
everybody's like, they're like going for it right from the beginning. So that one I found has just been a crowd pleaser. So that became like my go-to song when I would do karaoke. And I'd love it afterwards. I'd always get people coming up to me and all the compliments and like, oh, you've got such a nice voice. And so yeah, definitely that's my go-to.
Okay. To the last part of our discussion, which is the balancing creativity and business. How do you balance the creative side of vocal coaching with the business aspects, especially on YouTube?
Okay, well, before we go to that one, I have to ask you, have you been for karaoke? Are you a karaoke guy? Do you like to sing?
I do remember that when I went for one of my cousin's birthdays, I think I did sing a song with family and
Oh,
all that.
wow, okay.
It was a Hindi song, a very old Hindi song. I don't know if you
Yes,
watch many
yes.
Hindi movies.
Oh, I love them, the Bollywood. And actually
Yes.
one of my recent favorites I was enjoying, I can't remember the actors and the actresses' names or whatever, but it's the Garmi
Mhm.
song. Garmi, Garmi. Do you know that one? I'll send it to you. It's such a nice remix.
Is Garimi the name of the movie or song?
The name of the song.
Okay, if you can
Yeah, I
give me the
can't remember.
movie, I might be able to pick it up. If you can give me the name of the
I will
movie, do you
send
know?
it to you. It was a good movie. It was a really good movie. A lot of dance.
Is it a recent movie or a old
That's a
movie?
more recent one, yeah. Yeah, I am actually a
Okay.
Bollywood fan. I do love a good Bollywood because the stories are also so nice. So now
Yeah,
and
of
then it's
course.
like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I sang an old song. It was from Bukatar Kasikandar. It's an old movie. O Sati Re. I think that song when I was in a family birthday, where they had this set whereby they play a certain song and then you just sing according to the lyrics or music. I don't know what
Yeah.
they.
Oh, nice. Must have been
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, it was nice being with family. Can't go wrong.
Hmm. Okay, so what was that last question?
Okay, how do you balance the creative side of vocal coaching with the business aspects, especially on YouTube?
Oh, with YouTube, there is no balance. If you are trying to keep up to a certain schedule, like everyone says, you try and do the once a week thing. It is difficult. It is very hard to find that kind of balance. So for me personally, I just had to slow it down. Also because I'm
Mhm,
working on other projects as well. So
mhm,
that's just what I've had to do. I've had to slow the YouTube down a bit. And the
mm,
nice thing about that though is that it keeps the passion alive. It keeps
mm,
the because now I enjoy it. I'm not like, oh,
mm,
I need to make sure I put out a video every week and keep to this. And I'm actually putting out more quality
mhm.
and I'm enjoying it more
Yeah.
than
Well, yeah,
having
quality better than quantity.
definitely and better than having to push out a video. And it's so much of editing and all of that, like when
Mm,
you one person doing everything on your own, the
mm,
keeping up
mm,
to a schedule and all of that stuff. So for me, just slowing down. And you know what, whatever happens happens. It depends on your reasons also,
mm,
going into YouTube. Like if you want to just get into it for like making money or whatever, I've got a sad reality for you. But it's not the way. I mean, depending on what you're doing, okay, your content goes very viral, good for you, but it's not a
mm,
thing that happens often for people. If you
mm,
maybe have something more entertaining or whatever, then that's a different kind of type of video, that you're going to be putting out on YouTube. But for the general person that's maybe talking about fashion, or like for me, it's music and that kind of thing, it's usually slow and it takes a while to grow on YouTube. So, there's nothing wrong with just taking it a bit slower, I think. You don't need to rush out and try
of
and
course.
push and keep to a schedule. Just the main thing is, you want to still enjoy what you're doing. So
So,
balance,
so,
yeah, I don't know.
so on average, you do like one video a week or that one video a month? Like, how would you say you do it? Like,
Well, when I started out, it was 2 videos a week, and then I slowed
Okay.
it down to 1 video, and then there was also a lot of shorts. So I'm doing a lot of the
Okay.
shorts in between and whatever to keep people engaged.
Yeah,
And
shorts are good.
eventually I slowed it down now where it's like every 3 to 4 weeks. That's totally fine. And I'll still do some shorts in between. And people are loving the reaction videos. So I will, play different songs that are trending or performances.
Hmm.
And I'll give a little reaction, and people love that. Even, church, Sunday's church, like showing a
Hmm.
little bit of the worship. People love those. And I get so many views on those. So
Nice.
it's different, just changing it up a bit. I wanted
Hmm.
to just make it more interactive, exciting,
Of
something a
course.
bit different, and also something that I'm going to enjoy and not get bored with too. There's only there's a lot you can learn with vocal training, but I
Hmm.
want I want it to also just be fun for them.
Okay, my final question to you is any advice for people wanting to turn their passion for music into a career?
Well, okay, all the typical cliches, not to give
Hmm.
up, follow your dreams, all of that stuff. But with that, I would say really putting it into the practical. So that sounds nice, but in the
Hmm.
practical, it's very easy to give up. It's very easy to get overwhelmed. It's very easy to keep getting rejected, and that puts you off, getting your music out there and stuff. So I think also being realistic is important. Yes, you are going to get rejected. Yes, you are
Hmm.
going to hear lots of no's. Yes, there's going to be people that maybe don't like your music, don't like your songwriting. And like, that's okay. You need to just
Hmm.
accept that that's okay. You're not for everyone, and you shouldn't
Hmm.
actually want to be for everyone. But once you start getting yourself out there, maybe you're doing music and then like you're putting it on Spotify or whatever, like you will start to find your tribe as you branch out. As
Hmm.
like people start to hear you, like this person may not like you, but then hey, this person will really resonate and they will think like your music is so beautiful. So it's important to have a realistic approach about it. You don't want to be pessimistic, but also you don't want to
Hmm.
be so optimistic where you're afraid of getting disappointed. I think it's nice to just be real with all of that. And look, we spoke about Tyler earlier. She's
Hmm.
like such an inspiration, like a young girl from South Africa, and what she's doing all over the world. So yes, it is possible. But when I
Hmm.
say be realistic, like you want to shoot for the stars, of course,
Hmm.
but don't forget the practical aspect where, like, most people, you still got to live. You still might have a 9 to 5 job. You still got bills to pay. You're like,
Hmm.
you got to be real about those things. So it's okay to like be working and have a job while you're maybe doing your music on the side and seeing where that takes off. And so it's okay, to just be realistic about these things. Still be excited, keep that passion alive, but be realistic about it. Oh, and another good one I tell students as well is to learn to rest and not to
Hmm.
quit, because
Hmm.
sometimes you just feel like throwing in the towel. Like, I've gotten 5 people rejected my songs that I've written or whatever, for example. It's easy to get discouraged with
Hmm.
that. I mean, I've also felt disappointment and stuff with different things in my life. It's part of being human. But
Hmm.
you need to adapt that mindset where, like, okay, yeah, I feel like quitting, but I'm just going to take a break. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to just have a rest, and then I'm going to get back into it. Even if you take a month, maybe you're doing music, you take a month off because you're feeling burnt out. That's totally fine. And the same thing, we're talking about YouTube. I'd say the exact same thing here. If you need a break, take a break. Nobody cares that much if you need to take a break from YouTube. You have all these influencers. Do you see them? They'll be like apologizing. I'm so sorry, but I'm feeling burnt out and I need to take a break and I'll be back next month. And like, nobody cares. Take your break. Take a chill pill, and you can always come back. And then you have more to give. You can't fill others, their cup from an empty cup. You need to also fill your cup first. So yeah, that's a good mindset to have. And before we part ways, you've got to tell us also what would be your advice for, maybe people doing YouTube. You do some really cool live streams on your channel. What would be, your parting words or your advice for people wanting to do YouTube? Um, and as far as your journey and everything you've learned.
Okay. I guess what I would say as an advice is, if you going onto YouTube, is that you got to know what sort of topics you want to get into. You can't just do any topic off the cuff and expect to get viewership. You got to try and be engaging in what you into. You got to have passion for it. And as you said, you can't really give up so quickly. Otherwise, you're never going to achieve anything. What else was there? And yeah, you're just going to try and be adaptable. In the sense, you can't be, as I spoke earlier, rigid. And you just say something interesting about someone, people are not going to care. But my thinking was that if you have a person who's got millions of subscribers and they do view his content, I guess that's what he was trying to say when he's apologizing. I don't think he was doing it as in a, let's say, I think in those cases, I think they want to keep in touch with those viewers, because you know how difficult it is. So I think they are just doing good marketing on their side. But yeah, I think, to be honest, I'm not going to try and sound vain, but I do want to become one of those people that have got millions of subscribers and be the next person that just want to have open. Pardon?
Yeah.
Yeah, but one thing I don't want to do is become another journalist. Like, you have these Piers Morgan, I don't want to become that. That's for sure. He's too controversial for my liking. Although I do like him, but I just want to become someone where people can have free interaction with me, open up, speak about stuff that you probably wouldn't do like on the media, because media is so devilish.
Yeah, awesome.
So
you yourself are an inspiration. So I think that's another thing. I mean, people can look for on YouTube, looking to do YouTube, find some inspiration from other YouTubers.
Yeah. I mean, also try and vary your topics. Then some people say you must stick to one topic, be focused, but honestly, I just get bored. That's why I like to vary it up, whether it's beyond sports discussions, whether it beyond politics, or whether it be or chatting to people such as yourself. So it's nice to vary it up a bit.
Absolutely. And I mean, while yes, you can have a niche, you can also branch out around that niche. So for example, like I teach vocals, but like I'll also like, dipping my toe in like the entertainment industry and other performers and like that kind of thing. So it's not only vocal training. And from what I've been hearing, lots of other influences that like I listen to in business and that kind of thing, like that's some of my things that I love to listen to, is like people talking about entrepreneurship and stuff. And it's a similar thing that they say about your niche. Like, gone are those days where you think of, you just need to have one niche and stick to it. People actually want to hear and learn more about you, especially when you kind of build your subscriber base. Like, people want to know about you and that you're a real person, So she'll do, like, this girl I listen to, she'll do like teaches on business, but she'll also do things like teach about or showcase like a vlog where she's like having breakfast, or she's going to get her hair done or something. So like it engages the audience because they see, okay, you're a real person and these are the other, aspects of your life. It's something nice to keep your viewers engaged on YouTube. You don't have to just stick to that one niche so strictly.
You just mentioned about entertainment. Are you meaning like you do like dancing and all that in terms of your content, or what kind of entertainment?
The reaction videos. So I get lots of people will send me stuff and like, can you please react to this? They've seen this or whatever. So it's mostly like other artists doing performances. So I will showcase that and do a reaction to that. And, people love seeing that, but then they also getting exposed to some other performances that they might, like some people didn't even know about the VMA Awards. Come on. So I got to show a bit about it, and people see like, hey, there were some really nice performances there.
Yeah, honestly, I'm very bad when it comes to the local and Hollywood stuff. I'm going to Bollywood.
Well, that's nice too. Bollywood is cool too.
Okay. All I got to say is thank you so much for your time, and hopefully we can do another one soon.
Yeah, it's been such a pleasure. Awesome catching up with you. And I hope this video also is, going to be helpful to people that are looking to start up their YouTube channels as well. It's nice to have some background knowledge and do some research, before getting into the whole YouTube sphere. So I hope this will be a valuable asset that can also help a lot of people that are looking to start a YouTube channel soon.
Yeah, likewise. Take care.